Hello students, let's look at network security, part of topic 4. 4.2.1 is the reference, Edexcel GCSE Computer Science. For network security, there are a couple of issues that we need to discuss, and that is to do with white hat hackers and black hat hackers. And there's also another one called grey. Grey hat. And what on earth do these things mean? There are a couple of terms as well. One is called penetration testing, black box testing, and white box testing. Okay, so a white hat hacker operates within legal. Okay, it's legal and moral boundaries. They are commonly employed by companies. So Apple, Tesla, they employ these people. It's in their interest to find exploitatives, and they find weaknesses in their systems and report back. And they often, say to the public, if you find any flaws in a system, you sort of hack into our Tesla or whatever, then we can give you a bit of a bonus, right? So these are white hat hackers. Grey hat hackers, well, let's talk about black hat criminals. Okay, these are criminals who break into computer systems without authorization. Okay, no authorization. There are so many different groups that sort of work nowadays on the shadows. Often unethical. Some of them, you could argue, have some ethics, and they target certain companies because of their policies. And the grey hats are basically in the middle. They have no real malicious intent, but they don't always obtain permission. So they'll be poking around. They're kind of hobbyists. Maybe they found an exploit, and you're kind of lucky which side they fall on. Basically, they may offer, may say, "Look, we found this. You haven't asked her to do it, but we found it anyway. Maybe give us some money for it." Penetration testing is used to find a weakness in a system, and this sort of employ someone to break in, like it's literally their job. So they're asked, okay, you can do whatever you need to do to try and break into this system, try to exploit it, and find what we have. Black box testing aims to discover flaws, and backdoors into a system from outside the organization. And these can be done without the knowledge of usernames or access codes. So the backdoors into a system, sort of different ways in. Maybe people who are black box testing, they'll find a way through the service, the firewalls, without the knowledge of any usernames or passwords or access codes. They're not given anything. With the penetration testing, the vulnerabilities can be fixed before a hacker has an opportunity to discover them. So the idea is we were trying to be proactive with that. Now, white box testing puts the tester in the position of an employee. So for example, if there's someone dishonest, employee gone rogue, what would happen? So this is like testing what would happen. How far can this employee go given the information they have? Maybe they work for Apple or Tesla. How much can they actually do? So that's an overview of the type of ideas behind this topic. So let's look at an exam question. A company needs to secure its network from attack by its employees. Okay, so already we've just been talking about that kind of scenario. Explain the best choice of penetration testing. So white box testing, right? White hat is also the other name for it. Because the system is provided to the tester, and permission is given to a person to carry out the investigation, right? So that's probably, any of, you could use either of these basically, white hat. So they're given permission, here, and you could, so either white hat or white box would be appropriate for this, because the information is given to them to say, look, how far can you get with this information? What can you do? And they've been told that they're allowed to do as much, whatever they can. So you want to be feeding those two into the answer here for those 2 marks. Okay.